With transiting Pluto in Capricorn, the Lord of the Underworld presides over an ongoing process of granting justice to a society held in chains. Accompanying this ordeal is the dismantling, annihilation, and reconstructing of false structures and collective ideals that no longer serve. An undertaking of bringing all that's lurking in the collective unconscious to light so that we may amend, heal, and progress. Humanity is presented with the choice as to whether the chains of abuse of power should prevail, or whether the collective willingly chooses to regain power in cultivating a new earth consciousness. Pluto in the constellation of the Goat explores shadows of a hierarchical society, one that primarily bases a person's merit and esteem on their worldly success and social standing. Ancient wisdom denotes that man is of two natures, one that is in communion with the higher self, higher laws and ethics, and one that operates from a lower consciousness, at the mercy of the human shadow. It's become apparent that those that have claimed power over the mass have subordinated all other factors of the human equation to wealth and power. With America's Pluto in Capricorn is the sense of individual powerlessness buried in the collective unconscious. In the hierarchy, those at the bottom are the most exploited. With Pluto operating in this realm came the exploration of the misuse and abuse of power. At the heart of the matter is the imbalance of wealth and power among the social classes. The trading of the gold standard for fiat gave the US dollar a government-determined value. And although today's currency has no intrinsic value, people are enslaved over financial obligation. This illusion of abundance of American wealth has led people to overspending. And the fragile financial security and stability of the many is determined by the very few in power. In a world rendered helpless with the illusion of power and balance, money is the most viable source of control and inequality. The elite, governments, and corporations have the most influence in finance. With Pluto finishing off in Capricorn, the collective is encouraged to question who and what we've assigned value and worth, to question our own idealization of those with fortune. And far beyond that, with the Lord in this realm comes the inevitable dismantling of the hierarchy and deconstructing of systems that oppose the progress of greater human evolution. On the day Cassie filed the lawsuit, transiting Pluto was at 28 degrees Capricorn, conjoining Diddy's Mars at 29 degrees Capricorn. Mars in Capricorn is actually exalted, meaning it operates well in the sign. It's apparent in Diddy's lifestyle because he's one of the most successful producers / executives in hip hop. The Martian archetype is healthy versus unhealthy aggression, the sexual libido, and our ability to apply force and make things happen in the material realm. In a nutshell, Mars is all that has to do with the masculine polarity of the psyche. Pluto is where we have intense desire for a sense of control, healthy or otherwise. At the time of the relationship, Diddy used his financial power and social standing for oppression. But transiting Pluto making contact with his Mars, all the ways that he used his Martian force and ill will is coming to the surface. As humans, we live in duality, so we can choose a path of utter destruction or enlightenment. Many times when a person is undergoing a Pluto transit, they experience the dark night of the soul. Trauma and abuse we've experienced or inflicted on others resurface. With Pluto, all that's been lurking in the dark comes to light so that there is a chance for healing and regeneration. Pluto destroys what holds us back to make way for spiritual progress. What's even more interesting is that Harvey Weinstein and Jeffrey Epstein were also experiencing major Pluto and Capricorn transits when they were also being convicted. Weinstein has natal Mercury at 17 degrees Aries, and on the day of his first 2017 lawsuit, Pluto was at 17 degrees Capricorn, which formed an exact square with his Mercury in Aries. Aside from being associated with the intellect and communication, Mercury is also associated with business acumen. Both Weinstein and Epstein have highly aspected Mercuries. At the time of Epstein's second arrest, his Mercury in Capricorn was conjunct transiting Pluto and Saturn in Capricorn. Both men were business moguls with extraordinary wealth and power, And just as with Diddy, there were rumors of their misconduct for years, if not decades. The Me Too movement became a worldwide revolution when transiting Pluto was contacting their natal planets. On January 20th, 2024, as Pluto officially transitions to Aquarius, there will be continued financial disruptions as well as revolutions in government and institutions. But with Aquarius being the social reformer, there will be profound changes in our life view and collective ideals. In relation to Hollywood and the music industry, the corruption and darkness in mainstream media will become well known, especially how industry plans are propped by record labels to glorify moral corruption whilst normalizing self-destruction. Aside from social upheaval, Aquarius also deals a lot with technology and the internet, future cyber attacks, as well as society awakening to regain our ability to socialize outside of the internet comes to the forefront. There could be frequent power failures, outages, and maybe a great mishap concerning SpaceX and artificial intelligence. And although more frightening, planet Earth could undergo accelerated physical changes, which may push for more environmental causes. Astrological case studies are very revealing, and when one's aware of the patterns and what to look for, there's nothing more affirming that there is a higher power at play. Hopefully, with all these allegations coming forth, humanity awakens from the trance of influence culture to understand and explore why we put celebrities on pedestals. A person's esteem and merit should not be based on their wealth and social standing, especially when most of the elite ascend to power by employing a lot of moral and ethical corruption. For those steeped in the path of fame and power, the fall from grace is imminent, for in their world is the lack of morality, ethics, and hunger for wealth and power. The ends are to justify the means. In Hollywood, those that normalize violence and the corruption of morals are awarded fame and wealth. The idea of earnest love becomes a laughing matter because sexual promiscuity is celebrated. What a morally upright person would not do, those in power could easily justify. It's a capitalist system, and those in Hollywood are mere agents given wealth and a wider audience to fulfill a destructive agenda, an agenda that leads the impressionable youth to decadence and a self-destructive path. Pluto, now transitioning into Aquarius, is the dawn of a new age in human consciousness. In the age of Aquarius, the collective is encouraged to question life as we've always known, to claim our power as a collective against individuals and systems, to challenge those that are in favor of the status quo, to be informed of all the seemingly progressive agenda that's being propagated in mass media, and to explore and challenge all the underhanded tactics that are being employed to corrupt and misguide the innocence of youth. Pluto in Capricorn has driven deep into what holds intrinsic value to human life and progress, a long-awaited questioning of institutions and those granted authority. In a man-made world, change must begin within the mind and heart. It takes the mastery of individuality and greater motive awareness to honor the position of power. Self-appointed masters of society are at the mercy of greed and power. When systems, authority figures, and idols all fail, only then does the affirmation of one's own inner authority become central, and the communion with the higher self becomes the mediating call to spiritual enlightenment. And when the Lord of the underworld progresses to the sign of Aquarius, the reformer, a reconstructioning of collective consciousness becomes essential to a new earth. In the age of Aquarius, when systems, idols, and the powers that be disillusion humanity, the self awakens, dissatisfied with the way the world has operated, and seeking to realign with the higher power. The cultivation of a new earth consciousness entails the development of intuition and faith in the metaphysics. The reclamation of the inner child's curiosity and exploratory nature guides the self to creative potential. When one seeks enlightenment in the language and symbology of the cosmos, life takes on a deeper meaning, and there becomes a great self-awareness that leads to ultimate liberty. Ancient wisdom denotes that the heart determines one's true character and the state of one's being. The nobility of the heart imparts a lot about morality, ethics, and the progression of the soul's spiritual evolution. And as these jewels of wisdom resurface, humanity can yet again embark on a path of remembrance of the original purpose of creation, and honor and reclaim the inner authority to one's true becoming, when the fate of the world becomes dependent on pure intent and resolve to renounce the status quo.